You had a second chance to kind of review things. What were some of the things you walked away from Monday night's game?
Yeah, I think we definitely could have been a little more disciplined, starting with myself. Just little things, going to proper communication on plays, going the right way, just little things that kind of messed up our momentum. So we didn't play our best. I mean, we really beat ourselves is what I feel like. And then, obviously, we got to just continue to get better in the run game, and that starts with me.
How challenging is it to have a short memory on that and also a short week to prepare to get, that kind of process out from what happened the last game and moving on?
Yeah, I think, we call it a 24-hour rule. That's something I live by in football. I mean, in that moment, after that game, kind of dwell on it a little bit, but, sun rises the next day, you move on to the next game and, prepare. That's the great thing about football, obviously you get to end the season and, it's a little different. But, right now we're early, so we got plenty of more opportunities to get better.
Pete said after the game, we're trying to bring Ashton along slowly and not go crazy early. But he's also said, and Gino has said, we gotta get the running game going. We gotta feed Ashton a little bit more. Do you like that? Are you ready to take on a heavy load and going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you draft a guy like me to not give me carries and touches, and I'm ready for the responsibility, and like I said. It's going to start with me and, in the run game, and I got to continue to get better.
What's this experience like? You didn't experience this in college, not being able to be prolific, and you haven't had a lot of opportunities to early, but how's that been?
Yeah, I think it's just all learning, Like, there's a learning curve to the NFL for, every single rookie that comes in. I mean, I think it's really rare that a guy comes in and just flat out balling off the rip. So I'm not, feeling no type of way towards it. I just, like I said, I need to get better, and, the big time performances that, everybody might be expecting, I mean, those will come, but, it's just about consistency.
When you look at this Washington defense and obviously facing their D-line, talked about it being tough. You have a guy like Bobby Wagner out there. Where do you see this offense lining up challenge-wise against them?
I mean, we want to be able to go toe-to-toe with anybody, but, kind of like you said, this is a great defense. They're going to be physical and be tough. So, we just got to take on that challenge and, be ready for them. And, like you said, guys like Bobby Wagner, Frank Louvu, they're, great players. So, we're ready to step up.
And you mentioned the adjustment that every rookie has to make, right, coming into the league. What's been the biggest adjustment you've had to make so far?
I mean, I'd probably just say picking up on the playbook. I mean, all the plays, we got tons of, different, footworks and stuff like that, and just every, single detail, every play, and that's on me to, study those and take a next step at, memorizing everything and knowing that playbook like the back of my hand, and then, just game speed, but I'm getting more used to it.
You remember how old you were when you first knew a Bobby Wagner and knew he was a great player and watched him?
Yeah, I was probably in elementary school, middle school. I mean, dude's been playing for 14 years, so I mean, ain't much more I got to say about him, man. He's been consistent all of his career.
That was your first Monday Night Football appearance. I'm wondering if there's any part of that was like, whoa, it's Monday Night Football, we're here. How exciting was that?
Super exciting. I mean, Raider Nation showed up, loud and proud, and, family was there. I mean, it was just, overall great experience.
You just talked about the fact you're good. About trying to, get more carries, that you want that workload more. How much is it when you're trying to get into a rhythm? Can you get into a rhythm in the passing game as well and have that feed into the running game? How do you kind of get yourself going?
Yeah, I think, rhythm just comes from doing something, over and over again and kind of flowing it, and, whatever kind of touches it is, whether I'm catching the ball at the backfield or, they're handing it off to me, the more frequent those come, throughout the game definitely helps.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.